Heading into the season, I think we all figured that we would hear about Victor Wembanyama on the daily, but after watching the Spurs preseason opener against the Thunder, I can confirm that we for sure will be. At the same time, I can confidently say that we will also hear about Chet Holmgren too.
Yeah, it was definitely Chet versus Wembanyama during their preseason opener. They both played incredibly well, and I think a lot better than anyone was expecting, even with the hype that they're both coming in with during their quote-unquote rookie years, with that mainly applying to Chet Holmgren. But with that being said, Wembanyama came away with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block while shooting 8 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, and in only 19 total minutes. And while you would probably think that he would outdo everyone on the court with that stat line in only 19 minutes, Chet Holmgren dropped 21 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block on 7 of 10 shooting, 2 of 2 from 3 in only 16 total minutes. They look like two aliens out there running on the court. They're switching on defense at both being 7'3" to 7'5", making everyone look tiny. I remember at one point Wembanyama was running by Josh Giddey, who's like 6'8", and I thought he was a like 6'3" point guard out there. And it's just completely different seeing them on the court doing everything that like a wing player can do, and just doing everything well at their age already too. It's really turning the NBA in a different direction when you watch them. It's just like, wow, how much can they grow into their bodies and how good can they become even during their rookie years? Because they looked incredibly developed already for two 19 and 20-year-olds here. And I'm incredibly excited to watch how they develop throughout the year, the Rookie of the Year race between them, and just what they showed on Monday night alone really, I think, got the whole NBA world excited about them.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like two varsity players playing for their junior high teams. I mean, they both honestly just didn't look real out there. They both look like when you max out all the attributes on your My Player in 2K. I mean, they're both huge. They had effortless paint scoring, pull-up threes. I mean, they both looked really great Monday night. And I kind of want to talk about Victor Wembanyama here. Some major takeaways for me are the fact that he was able to score a good amount on a decently strong defensive team in OKC. I mean, he helped space the floor as we expected, and it really created a lot for him and the rest of the Spurs on offense. And on the defensive end, he did only block 1 shot, but the way he altered the shots was really impressive to me. Not only is he tall and long, but he had great timing. His presence is definitely felt near the rim when he's in. And lastly, one thing I really was impressed on was how fast he was. I don't know about you, but there was a couple fast break plays where he would kind of be up on the point guard and they would have a mismatch down low with Chet or whatever, and then he would miss it and he would take off down the court, and he was outrunning the guards that he was switched on. And to me, just running the floor quickly, filled transition lanes really good. That just kind of impressed me really, really well. And turnovers were an issue a little bit for him, but that's something that can be ironed out over time. And I know we only saw 19 minutes of him. And by the way, 16 players played for the Spurs, and I think 17 for the Thunder. But I still sit pretty highly on Wembanyama and the Spurs having an entertaining season nonetheless.
Oh, for sure. And I like how you mentioned how quick Wembanyama looked. When I was watching the game film back, I thought from the highlights anyway that he was cherry picking, kind of doing that. But then when you actually look back, like he waits until the ball is rebounded and he sprints down the court and he's beating guys who are a foot shorter than him down the court at times. He's an absolute unicorn out there. It's kind of, again, wild to watch at times, but getting into actually what he did, he looked a lot more comfortable on the court, even compared to Summer League, which he didn't really play a lot of either. You can definitely tell he's kind of rounding into his game a little bit more, had more time to work on everything, get more comfortable with the NBA style, and work on things, tidy things up around the edges. And he did not hesitate to shoot the ball like he kind of did during Summer League, even from beyond the arc around the three-point line. Again, he knocked down 2 of them, but he took 5 3-point shots, which was more or equal to in however many he took during Summer League. And, I think that will be really big for him throughout the NBA season. He's not going to have any limitations on what he can and cannot do, I can't imagine. I mean, the Spurs, they wouldn't be unhappy to compete, but the major thing for them, their priority, will be developing their young talent, with that being particularly true for Wemby. And I think it's pretty much confirmed that he will be playing a majority, if not all of his time at power forward this season. He did not play a single minute as their primary center on Monday night during their matchup against the Thunder. That role went to Zach Collins and Charles Bassey, and I imagine they'll keep him there, even though, the NBA is not full of big bruiser type Dwight Howards anymore, no Shaquille O'Neals anymore, but still, they want Wemby to stay healthy at power forward. They don't want him to take a beating, and they're clearly trying to minimize that by keeping him at power forward, defending the perimeter rather than the post, and even on offense, playing more around the perimeter. And it looks weird for a 7-foot guy to be dribbling and kind of creating his own shot, but he clearly can do it. He's only going to keep getting better in that role too. And I like what they have planned for him here. I think it will be a really good step for him into his rookie year. And kind of with that in mind, getting back to the Chet Holmgren thing here, how do you view, it's very early I know, but how do you view kind of the rookie of the year race? How do you think that they'll be competing, and what do you think will be like the main factors that go into that?
I mean, I think that one thing we sometimes forget about is going to be the rest of the team, right?
Yep,
So
for sure.
it's going to be, I mean, whatever team ends up doing better too is going to get a little bit more attention. You have better players around you to make you better. I mean, it just kind of depends. I mean, even last night, I know we can't say so much, like I kind of said before, that we had 17 players for OKC play, but if you compare Wemby and Chet, he won Monday night against Wemby. He racked up 21 points on better 3-point shooting, better field goal percentage, better free throws, 9 rebounds, same, block and assist, but in less time. So like I said, you just look at this comparison here just on the first game, which is a super small sample size, of course, but if you look at the rosters, it's undoubtedly that OKC has the better roster. So just having those players around Chet, I think will elevate him to that next level. He's already had a whole year of training with, NBA trainers, and basically being in this whole environment where he definitely has a leg up no matter what. So my opinion is, if they both stay healthy, that Chet will probably round that out, and that's just my super far prediction here. What do you think?
Yeah, there's no wrong answer here at all, but I was going to get primarily into the same thing there. Yeah, he's going to have to share opportunities, and, it's a lot about team success, and a lot of people think that Oklahoma City could possibly be a top 5 seed even, and if that happens, I imagine that Chet Holmgren would have to be a big part of it. He'll be their last line of defense, he'll have a big role in their offense. But with that being said, he will have a little bit more limited freedom within their offense, especially compared to a Victor Wembanyama. Chet will have to split opportunities with, of course, SGA, Josh Giddey, a bunch of Jalen Williams. They have a lot more actual offensive threats in their team, and while I'm not saying San Antonio doesn't, they got, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, they got some guys too, but they're kind of in a developmental year, and they'll allow Wembanyama to go and get his stats, I imagine, and, more freedom to develop. But I do agree, the team's success will play a big factor here. And I think if OKC would kind of be around that top 5, even top 7 seed, that would definitely help Chet a lot. And, it'll come down to team success, individual numbers, of course. And then I think the one thing that will help Wemby is overall hype. Not saying that Chet Holmgren doesn't have hype, he definitely does as well, but definitely more on Wembanyama's side with, him being the most quote-unquote hyped up draft prospect since LeBron in 2003. That'll definitely play to his advantage, and if he can kind of average around, between 18 to 20 points, even that might be a bit much, 7-ish rebounds, 2-3 blocks a game, I think he'd probably get it due to hype. Again, not saying that's a bad stat line by any means, because it's not. But I definitely do think the Thunder will have a better record, and I think that will play to Chet's advantage. But I would give Wembanyama the very slight edge here. I think it'll be a really interesting rookie of the year race to watch play out. Probably one of the most highly anticipated ones we've had in quite a while now, honestly. And yeah, it'll probably be one of my favorite award races to watch play out this year, and that's pretty interesting for a rookie of the year race.
For sure, definitely something we've never seen before with the versatility, the defense, the shooting. I'm excited to see it. I think we're all excited to see it. Definitely most hype that we've had in a very long time, and looking forward to seeing it.
Agreed. I think the final thing I just want to touch on here is the future of Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. I mean, they're both in the West. They match up with each other a few times on Monday night throughout the game, with Chet Holmgren even taking a headbutt to the chin from Wemby and knocked him down there for a little bit. And I think that'll just be a really interesting quote-unquote front court matchup to watch play out over the next hopefully decade and a half here. They both are incredible anomalies, if you will, aliens, unicorns in the NBA, and watching them develop, add more to their game over that time, and potentially become both the guy for their team, hopefully with both the Thunder and Spurs for a long time here. They'll be two very interesting players and teams to watch play out for quite a long time here, and it's definitely a matchup I'm going to keep watching going forward.